It feels like this past year just came and went in the blink of an eye. But at the same time it feels as though time has been standing still. Every year it feels like there's this build-up, anticipation of the seasons changing. But for the past few years these build-ups have been very anticlimactic for me. I used to look forward to the snow, the icy breeze, warm fires. But winter in my part of the UK looks very different these days. We barely got a frost this year, when not so long ago fluffy flakes from the sky seemed abundant. One year it even snowed enough to build an igloo, like a proper one out of snow blocks. It makes me a little bit sad. The winter magic I love so much seems to melt away a little bit more each year. Oh, good morning you guys. How are we on this fine Sunday morning? It's been a little while since I filmed. I've been unwell, been a little bit under the weather. I've had a flu type thing, so that's been nice. If this is the first time we're meeting, by the way, then hi, my name's Charlotte Elizabeth, but you can call me Charlie, and welcome. It's really weird to think about that we're literally just 4 weeks away from spring. It feels like there's been no winter. It feels like it went from like summer to just kind of the overcast grey days until now, and now it's nearly spring again. We've had no real winter again, really. But things change, life moves on, so I'm gonna try and start preparing for spring and start prepping all the raised beds for planting. And I just kind of thought that maybe getting outside, a bit of nature might make me feel a bit better, because I've been cooped up inside not doing anything. Okay, it got real windy out there real quick, so changed plans for the day because I was going to be doing some stuff outside. We're going to start off in here instead, in the polytunnel, and I'll show you around very quickly. Don't judge me too hard. It has been somewhat neglected. We had some really bad flooding. Oh, we should have probably moved the battery. Oh. Caught in a bit of, I think that was a pot. Wow. Oh shit, the D&D books.
Oh yeah.
My polytunnel is destroyed. All my rose beds have fallen apart. Do have some life up here, not a lot. But yeah, ignore the whole thing. Desperately needs cleaning, which would help with the lighting. But I'm not going to do that today, so you're just going to have to put up with the mess. So yeah, I'm just going to kind of start and work my way around and see where we get to. I won't lie to you, I've not been feeling myself too much lately. I find that when I start feeling overwhelmed, I begin craving the nostalgia of simpler times, wishing I could just go back. And whilst I know that that's not entirely a healthy approach, I do think being autistic has something to do with that. Needing things to stay the same, needing to be in control of my environment. When things get too much, I just want to go back to my safe space. I tend to feel very anxious when things change. It's quite a helpless feeling actually, and not always something I can help. It's just the way my brain is wired and processes things. But it is something I try to work on, to make sense of, to try and eliminate some of the anxiety. If I can learn to control some of my feelings, then it almost puts me back in control again. You know, even if you're not big into gardening, I highly recommend just try, just do a little bit, just plant one thing, or just do a tiny bit of weeding, like if you have access to, you know, something like that. Like 3 years ago, I didn't care at all, I didn't, but I don't know, there's just something very healing about using your hands, like getting your hands like in the earth. I don't know. I don't really know how to explain it. I'm sure some of you get what I mean, but yeah, it's just good for the soul, I think. Or maybe it's my age. I don't know. Maybe once you hit your 30s, things suddenly become things that weren't appealing in your 20s just suddenly are very appealing. I don't know. Much like the seasons, there are some things that are just out of our control, and I think learning to accept the things we can't change and instead move with them is a far more productive use of our internal resources. I do need to take a little break though. I'm starting to get a little bit worn out. You know, as much as I love winter, there is something to be said about the spring and the approach of spring. There is something a little bit magical about it. It just bursts with life. Everything, everywhere you look, everything you hear is just... So, I'm very sorry. I probably sound very stuffy, as I am quite stuffy. I do think that there is magic to be found everywhere. Like if you look for it, I don't know. Things change so quickly. Just you barely get a chance to take in like one thing that's happening before it's just something else. So I guess that means you should just appreciate it while it's there, you know? I don't know. This is where I just go on a bit of a ramble, to be honest. I imagine at this point there's not really many of you still left here at this portion of the video, but for those of you who are, hi again. Appreciate you hanging out with me while I get some adult responsibilities done and try and feel better about myself. Because I've done nothing at all this week, I really haven't, and I've been kicking myself about it. All I've done is just sit in my dressing gown, playing Hearthstone, feeling sorry for myself. And I really hate these kind of illnesses because mentally I've been quite busy up here and wanting to do things, but physically my body's just like, no. So yeah, it's nice to be out the house, I won't lie. I will always miss the winter, the proper winters we once had here, and the nostalgia of those simpler days. But I will always remember the little girl who loved nothing more than being pulled in a sled by her dad in the snow. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye. Oh god, oh god.